Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let us learn one more important concept of natural language processing. Before understanding that, so let's analyze or let's understand it with a real-time example. We call this ChatGPT as one of the example of natural language processing model. Why do we call this ChatGPT as one of the natural language processing model? Because so what it does, if we provide a input in our natural language, if I provide the input to this, then what it is doing, it is doing some processing and providing me the response, right? Yes. Since in future we are going to develop such a type of models to provide such responses for the given input, do I need to know what happens in the background of this chat GPT? Yes, there is a requirement for us to learn what type of processing happens on our natural language, that is on our input, to provide this response. Yes. So what is the processing happened? If you observe, so in order to provide the response appropriate or for the given input, in order to provide the correct response, first our natural language model need to analyze the input. Yes. So first our natural language model need to analyze the input and understand whatever the input that we are getting. So then after, let's say our model got analyzed the input. Now, in order to provide the response, first our model need to predict the response, right? Yes. So based on the given input, first our model need to predict the response. After predict the response, so how it is providing the response? In the form of natural language only. So if it provides the response in the form of natural language, then only we can able to understand. So that's the last step, that is it will generate the response. So this is the, can I say these as processing? Yes. Analyzing the input, predicting the response and generating the response. We call them combinedly as processing. Since this processing happens on our natural language, we call it as a natural language processing model. Or we can say this whole processing happens on our natural language as natural language processing, and whatever the available models like ChatGPT, which are processing our natural language, we call those such type of models as natural language models, right? Yes. Before understanding development of these chat GPT models or these advanced NLP models, natural language processing models, it is very important to understand or grab the knowledge of old models, or you can say previous models. As if we know those models, then we can able to understood why we came to such advanced models nowadays. And we can also understood what are the issues we faced while using that old model, and why we are having a need to move to this advanced model, and what are the issues which are overcome by these natural language models at each and every era. So during starting era of these natural language processing models, we are using this rule based systems, that is at the starting days, to process the given input and provide the response we used these rule-based systems. You can say this is one of the method. NLP methods, or you can say NLP evolution era. Okay. So at starting days, we are using these rule-based systems. By using these rule-based systems only, we are predicting the output and generating the responses at starting days. These rule-based systems are early era of natural language processing. So now let's have a question. How these rule-based systems actually process the given input and provide me the response. So during that time, what happens is some researchers developed some rules. Some researchers developed some rules in order to provide the response based on the given input. Based on the given input, for each and every language, they developed some rules, and based on the rules and what are the input provided by the user, the response we are getting. So that's how actually in rule-based systems, the processing or working happens. Now let's analyze these rule-based systems with a small example. Let's say I want to generate some sentence based on my activity and based on my mood. I want to generate some sentences. Let's say if I provide my activity as study and if I provide my activity as happy, then I want to generate sentence like, let's say I want to expect the response like this. If the input is study as activity and mood, that is happy as a mood, then what my model I am expecting to provide as a response is, I am expecting this. You seems to be enjoying studying. So like this, I want to provide the response. Let's say if my mood is tired and if my activity is studying, then I'm expecting my model need to provide the response like this. And in all the other cases, I want to get the response like this. So like that, I provided the code. So like this, for each and every case, you can see for happy case, I have defined some response. For tired case, I have defined some response. In the other cases, I have defined some responses. So like this, in rule-based system, you need to define the response. So let's run this. You can see I'm writing this py space. I'm running this code. And here what I'm providing the activity as study and I'm providing the mood as happy. Then what I need to get? I need to get this response. I'm providing this input and checking whether I'm getting this type of response from this generate sentence or not. So I'm just clicking on enter. You can say I'm getting, you seems to enjoy studying. Let's provide another mood, like let's say I'm tired. If I'm studying and I'm tired, then what sentence it needs to generate to me? Studying can be tough when you're tired. So like that, you need to provide me the sentence. Let's check. You can see we're getting the response as expected. Let's say if I provide other response than these two, then what response I need to get? I need to get this response, right? Yes. So let's validate it as well. You can see I'm getting the response like this. So like this, how many rules you want? Those many rules you want to define manually. As a researcher, you need to take care of writing all those rules based on your expected response, based on how the user is providing the input. So what response you want to provide. So based on that, you need to manually define rules here, and you can use it in real time for getting the response. That is a text-based response. You can see here I'm providing the natural language as input And I am also getting the natural language as output, right? Yes. Like that, by using this rule-based systems, during the starting days of NLP era, the response are generated. Majorly, this is not preferred for text generation. The reason behind this is manually crafting or writing each and every rule becomes very complex for researcher, or you can say for us. This is one of the major limitation or issue that we are facing while using this rule-based system. So the major issue that came here while defining this rule-based systems is complexity. While creating these types of systems, it is very complex to define each and every rule separately. So I need to overcome this issue. So in order to overcome this issue of defining each and every rule to predict the next response, we just moved a one bit advance to this natural language processing. That is this statistical NLP era. In this statistical NLP era, we majorly overcome this issue. That is defining each and every rule. So for getting the response, defining each and every rule, this was overcome. So in this era, actually, we use statistics and probability actually to predict the next upcoming word. Before going to this statistical NLP era or method, I want to explain you that is a why, where actually these rule-based systems are mostly used at those days or nowadays as well. Majorly, those rule-based systems actually they use to analyze the sentiment of given text. If we given any input of sentence, so based on that sentence, we can able to predict the sentiment of that sentence. So it is very important to understand whether it's a positive type sentence or negative type sentence or neutral type sentence. So how this will be predicted? So for this, we defined some rules. You can see we defined some positive keywords as well as negative keywords. And then we pick each and every word from the given sentence. We'll pick each and every word from the given sentence and we will identify that word is a positive word or a negative word. If the word is positive, then we just increase the score. We first initialize the score to 0. Then based on the positive words that came in our sentence, we'll increase the score. And based on the negative words that came in our sentence, we'll decrease the score. So at last, we'll compare the score. If the score is greater than 0, we'll assume that sentence as positive. If the sentence is in less than 0, or you can say the score is less than 0, then we can assume the sentence is a negative. And if the score is 0, then we can assume the sentence as neutral. So like this, we can able to predict the sentiment of the model, sentiment of the sentence. So let's run this. You can see this sentence is a positive sentence because it scores positive value. So that's why we're getting the response like this. I'm feeling good. Let's provide a small sentence like I'm feeling good. So how it is identifying whether the given sentence is a positive or negative based on these rules that we defined. Here you can see 3 rules we defined and we identified the score as well based on the words and we're providing the response, right? Yes. During initial days of NLP processing, our rule-based systems are utilized in this way to predict the sentiment analysis. Basically, if you observe, each and every word have multiple meanings, right? Yes. So if we take a sentence, or you can say if we take a word as positive, then in sometimes in a sentence, a word may be used to convey the negative meaning as well, right? Yes. during that time, might this won't work or this won't provide you the correct response. This might happen sometimes as well. Due to the word ambiguity, that is a word having multiple meanings, so it is very difficult, or you can say this is one of the major issues that we face while using this rule based systems, NLP models. So that's why that is the major need for evaluation of advanced model than this rule based system. That is, this statistical NLP model got evolved as an advanced model to this rule based systems during those days. I hope this video is useful. In the next video, we're gonna learn about the statistical NLP model. And I hope in this video you understood a detailed analysis regarding rule-based systems, how they are working, and what are the major issues that we are facing while using these type of models. And so what is the next upcoming advanced model? I hope this video is useful. If you feel this video is useful, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching again. See you back in the next video with another interesting topic. Until then, bye bye, guys.